Hi everyone, and welcome to today's reading session. I hope you're all well and hope you're enjoying the sunny weather. It's quite nice here today. So today we're going to be reading a book called The Magic Mirror. This is a new book that we haven't read before, so if you're wanting to read along with us, you can find it on the Facebook page, and it should have been emailed out to you as well, and maybe on the WhatsApp group, I'm not sure. So yeah, The Magic Mirror. So if you could get that up next to this video, that would be great, and you can read along with me. So I'll just describe what the title of the book means. So the title is The Magic Mirror. So a mirror is what we look in to see ourselves. So when we want to see what we look like, we hold up a mirror and we can see ourselves in it. So that's what a mirror is. And then magic is something something special, something that doesn't normally happen. So we have wizards like Harry Potter, and we have witches, which are like wizards. They cast spells and they do magical things. They make people shrink, they make people bigger, they do all sorts of things. So this is a mirror that does more than just look in it. You can do special things with this mirror. Okay, so we're going to read half the book today. So as normal, I'll go through each page, then we'll go over it, and then when we get halfway through, I'll ask some questions, and then we'll do the second half next time. Okay, so we're starting. So we see the first page, the magic mirror, and it's got a nice picture on, so maybe that tells a bit about what's going to be happening later. Okay, so we'll start on page 2. Once upon a time, not long ago, a group of friends were playing in a village when suddenly a strong wind swept them away. "What is this place?" they asked. "Where are we? It's so quiet and scary." "Look, a house," said one. "Let's go see if someone is there to help us." And the next page. The children walked to the house and peeked in the window. There they saw a table full of delicious food. Suddenly the front door opened as if by magic. A strange voice called out to them, "You look hungry. Come in and eat." Okay, so we'll go over those 2 pages. So page 2, it starts off the way a lot of old stories start. So we call these stories fairy tales. So they're about magic and fairies, and they're often for children as well. So these stories start with once upon a time. So it happened a long time ago. And it says a group of friends were playing in a village when suddenly a strong wind swept them away. So the wind in the air was blowing them around, and it swept them away, it blew them away. And suddenly they were somewhere else. And they say, "What is this place?" So they ask, "Where are we?" They don't know where they are. And it's very quiet, they can't hear anything, and it's scary. They don't know where they are, so they're very scared. And then they see a house, so they see a building, we see it in the picture, and so they go over to the house to see if someone will help them because they're lost, they don't know where they are. Then on the next page, the children all walk up to the house and they look in through the window, so you can see them in the picture, they're all looking through the window, and they see a plate of food, so a table full of food, and it looks really delicious, really nice food. And then the front door to the house opens on its own, so no one touches it, but the door opens as if by magic. And then they hear a voice calling to them, saying, "You look hungry, come in and eat." So this strange, scary voice is telling them to come in. Okay, page 4. Sam was suspicious. "I don't think we should eat this food," he warned his friends. "But we are so hungry," they wailed. "We can't bear this hunger anymore, and the food looks so good." "Don't eat if you don't want to," said one friend, "but don't stop us." And the next page. As their friends went inside to eat, Sam held on tightly to his sister's hand. "Sam, I'm so hungry," she cried. I want to eat too. Sam shook his head. No, Soy. Remember what our parents told us. Don't eat to fill your hunger. Don't act to fill your ego. And don't you think this house is strange? Okay, so page 4. So we meet our main character, the main person in the story, Sam. And Sam's one of the children. And he was suspicious. So he was worried. He wasn't sure that he thought this food might be dangerous. And he says as he warns his friends, so he tells them he's scared. He says, I don't think we should eat this food. But they're so hungry and they wail, so they're shouting, they're so hungry. And he said they can't bear the hunger, so they're too hungry and they want to eat. And one of the friends says to Sam that he doesn't have to eat, but he should let them, so don't stop them eating the food. So they don't listen to Sam, really. They don't listen to his warning. And the next page, so their friends go inside to eat. So you can see all the children sat down at the table eating the food, but Sam holds his sister's hand, so he holds it tightly. So they hold hands really tightly. And we meet Soy, Sam's little sister, and she says she's so hungry, she wants to eat too. But Sam shakes his head and he says no, Soy. So he tells Soy that she can't eat the food. And he says to her, remember what their parents told them. And it's quite complicated, this little bit. So don't eat to fill your hunger, don't act to fill your ego. So they shouldn't be greedy. They shouldn't eat too much food when they don't need it. So they don't need to eat this food. And also Sam says, don't you think this house is strange? So Sam's still worried. He still thinks something isn't right in this house. So he's really not sure. And then, yeah, let me see. I'll read one more page, I think. Yeah, we'll read this page. All of a sudden, Sam and Soy saw that their friends had turned into monsters. Sam grabbed Soy's hand and ran through the door into the forest. Okay, so on this page, all the children eating the food, they suddenly turn into monsters. So we see all the children that were there, they're now monsters. They're all animals and they're very scary. So Sam and Soy run away. They run out through the door and they run into the forest. So into the woods, into the trees. Okay, so that's the first half. So I've got some questions about that bit. So if you can pause the video after I ask each question and have a look back through the book. And then when I've asked all the questions, we'll go through all of them. Okay, so number 1, what takes the children away? What makes the children move away? So if you remember, all the children are playing and then suddenly they're taken away. So what takes them away? Number 2, what did the children see in the house? So when they looked through the window into the house, what did they see? And the next one, number 3, what happens when the children eat the food? What happens when the children eat the food? Okay, so number 1, we see this answered on page number 2. So if you turn to page number 2, and we see that the group of friends were playing in a village when suddenly a strong wind swept them away. So it was the wind outside. It was so strong and it blew them away into this new place. And number 2, what did the children see in the house? And we see this on page number 3. So they peer through the window, they're peeking in, they're looking through the window, and they see this table full of food, and it looks really good, really delicious food. And number 3, what happens when the children eat the food? So this is on page number 6. And all of a sudden, Sam and Soy saw that their friends had turned into monsters. So all the children who were eating the food, they turn into monsters. They turn into these animals, and they're very scary. Um, but Sam and Soy escape because they haven't eaten the food, so they get to run away. Okay, we'll read the second half of this bit, and then I've got just some more questions to answer. Okay, so we're on page 7 now. Inside the house, an old witch appeared. The witch counted the monsters, and her face turned hard with anger. "Where are the other 2 children?" she screeched. Then she flew away after Sam and Soy. Sam and Soy ran and ran through the forest, desperately trying to find a hiding place. As they ran, they came across a big white rat. "Come to my den," he said, "and I'll help you hide." "I'm so afraid, Sam," said Soy, as they ran into the white rat's den. "What if the witch finds us?" Sam comforted his sister. "Don't think about that, otherwise the witch might smell our fear." Okay, so page 7. So we're still inside the house here, and a witch appears, and she's an old witch, so an old woman, and she's very scary, and she can cast spells and do magic. So the witch counted the monsters, so she counts the 5 monsters on the page, and her face turns hard with anger, so she's really angry, she's not happy. And she says, "Where are the other 2 children?" And she screeches, so she screams really loudly. And then she flies away after Sam and Soy. So she wanted all the children to be turned into monsters, but she didn't get Sam and Soy, so she's going to try and find them. So meanwhile, Sam and Soy ran and ran through the forest, so they keep running, and they're desperately trying to find a hiding place. So they need somewhere to hide so the witch can't find them. And while they're running, they meet this person. They meet a big white rat. So like a mouse. Yeah, we know a rat. It's in the picture on page 8. And the rat says, "Come to my den." So he has a den, and it's underground. So the ground's here, and he hides under the ground. And he says, "Come to my den, I'll help you hide." So they climb under the den. And Soy says to Sam, "I'm so afraid." So she's really scared. And she asks, "What if the witch finds us?" But Sam comforts her. He makes her feel better. And he says, "Don't think about that. Otherwise the witch might smell our fear." So if they're too scared, the witch might smell it, because she's got a really strong nose. She might smell their fear and be able to find them. So they shouldn't be scared. Okay, page 9. From inside the white rat's den, the children could hear the witch wailing and screeching as she searched for them. Finally she flew away, and the white rat said, "It was wise of you not to eat the food inside the witch's house." "Why did she do this to our friends?" asked Sam and Soy. The rat told them that her master had ordered her to turn 100 children into monsters and bring them to him. Once she brings these 100 children to him, she will be gifted with immortality. "How can I help my friends become human again?" asked Sam. "It's hard to say," said the rat sadly. "If you do not find a spell in 3 days, they will stay monsters forever." "Oh no, I'm scared for them," cried Soy. "Don't be afraid, Soy. We must be strong," Sam said as he hugged her. Okay. So, the top of page 9. So they're inside the rat's den, and the children can hear the witch. She's shouting as she looks for them. But luckily she flies away. She doesn't find them. And the rat says, "It was wise of you, so it was clever of you not to eat the food inside the house." So they were very clever, Sam and Soy. But Sam and Soy ask, why did they do this to their friends? So why did their friends get turned into monsters? And the rat tells them that their witch's master, so her boss, the person who's in charge of her, um, wanted her to bring 100 children to him. And once the witch had 100 children, she will be immortal. So, immortal means that you can't die. So, once she brings these 100 children to her master, she will live forever. And so that's why she wanted to turn the children to monsters. But Sam wants to know how can he help his friends become human again, so stop them being monsters and help them become human. But the rat says that it's hard to say, he's not sure. He says that if you don't find a spell, so if you cast a spell on someone, it's a magic power in 3 days, that they will stay monsters forever, so they've got to be quick. And Soy says she's scared for them. And Sam tells Soy not to be afraid and that they must be strong. And then he hugs her, so he gives her a hug to reassure her. Okay, page 11 and 12, last 2 pages we're going to do today. Do you know how we can help our friends? Sam asked the rat. Yes, said the rat. You must find the magic mirror in the mysterious temple. It will help you save your friends. Where is this mysterious temple? Asked Sam. It's far away in the east. Hurry, go now, said the rat. And next one. As they left, Sam said, Soy, you must search for a village and tell them about what's happened to our friends. I will travel east and find the mirror. Okay, so that's all we're going to read today, so I'll just go over those 2 pages. So Sam wants to know how he can help their friends and stop them being monsters. And the rat says that you must find the magic mirror, so we know this book's called The Magic Mirror, and he's got to find it in the mysterious temple, and it will help them save their friends. So they've got to find this magic mirror, and that will help save their friends. And Sam asks, where is the mysterious temple? And the rat says it's far in the east, so they've got to go far away. And he says they've got to hurry, they've got to go quickly. And then Sam tells Soy that Sam is going to go look for the mirror, and Soy needs to go look for a village and tell people about what's happened to their friends. So tell people about what's happened. Okay, that's all we're going to read today. So I've got a final few questions and then that is it. Okay, so first question, who appears inside the house? Who appears inside the house? And number 2, where do Soy and Sam hide from the witch? Where do Soy and Sam hide from the witch? Number 3, why does the witch want to find all the children? And why does she want to turn them all into monsters? And how do Sam and Soy save their friends? Okay, so number 1, who appears inside the house? So it's the old witch. She appears inside the house, and we see on page 7, she looks very scary. She's got a long nose, she's got long white hair, and she's a very scary witch. And number 2, where do Soy and Sam hide from the witch? So this is on page number 8. They meet the white rat and they hide underground in his den. So he has a house under the ground and that's where they hide from the witch. And number 3, why does the witch want to find the children? So she wants to find the children so she can become immortal. It's on page number 9. And what if we remember what immortal means? That she'll never die, she'll be alive forever, she'll live forever. And so that's why she wants to find the children, why she's looking for Soy and Sam. And number 4, the last one, How do Sawyer and Sam save their friends? And the rat tells them on page 11 that they need to find the magic mirror in the mysterious temple, and they need to go find it and bring it back. So that's where Sam sets off to. So we'll find out what happens next in 3 weeks' time when it's my turn again. Until then, I hope you have a really nice time, guys. Hope you're all well, and I'll see you next week. Okay, thanks, guys.